watch our show. Bet River sponsors. It's time to start. Enjoy the show. Give me your picks. Give me your insights. I want the bets from Betting Weekly. Because we win. That is our motto. Sometimes we win. Sometimes we don't win. Don't give us the bird. Don't give us a stink eye. We try our best. And we're successful. Come watch our show. Bet River sponsors. It's time to start. Enjoy the show.
Welcome in, everyone. It's Betting Weekly live Wednesday, the 4th of December. And joining me is a man who played on the hallowed turf of Wembley yesterday, to the scourge of his anytime scorer backers by the sounds of things. And then later on, cooking hot dogs in the Premier League. It's great to see you, Nigel.
Yeah, and hence the reason why I'm sitting down here, because I can't feel my legs. My back has gone. I mean, pretty much. I've dosed up with cat tablets to try to get painkillers to get me back through. But what a fantastic experience playing at Wembley. And anybody who goes through the history, if there's anyone watching this from America or anybody who watches like the history of Wembley, if you go onto YouTube and you put in the worst miss at Wembley, there's a guy called Jeff Thomas who had a miss for England playing against France. And I can guarantee you the miss that Nigel Seeley made yesterday was the worst miss ever in Wembley football history.
What was the
2
XG?
yards up, free head up, 0.9. 0.95. It was a free header, straight in, head up. The goalie missed it. I could see the goal empty. I could see Wembley behind me. I thought, this is my moment of glory. Hit the top of the head, and it skyrocketed backwards. Probably it's one of the worst misses you will ever see in your life. But anyway, what a great experience. Fantastic experience. And to do it with my son was even better. To do it with my son was even better.
I'm glad you had such a great time there, Nigel. And we are ready to attack another day of soccer action across Europe. We've got German Cup, we've got a La Liga, we've got not a full card of Premier League games, but we've got a good half dozen to discuss, and also League One and League Two. I'm actually going to kick us off a bit of a starter here before the main event in the German Cup, the DFB Pokal. I'll shout out to Jack Wright actually yesterday. He was completely right about the Bayern game on the under. But we've got some early kickoffs in 1 hour's time. Wolfsburg are playing against Hoffenheim. Now, the last time I actually checked this market, it was suspended, but it should come back very soon. But actually, Wolfsburg now minus 132 on the money line to beat Hoffenheim, a Wolfsburg team who are doing very, very well at the moment. Nigel, I flagged them up. I should have had them as my hot dog last weekend. They beat Leipzig 5-1 away, playing some very good soccer. Ralph Hasenhüttl is in charge of them at the moment. And I think they'll beat Hoffenheim here, who are struggling. The fourth game in 12 days for Hoffenheim. Not used to playing in Europe. Hoffenheim. I always like teams to oppose teams who are not used to European schedules. And I think this is going to be a home win all the way. I mean, if you just beaten Leipzig 5-1 on the road, I think this is a fantastic opportunity for them. They're going to be fine in the Bundesliga this season. They might as well target a cup run, Nigel. I always say these sort of mid-table teams should target cup runs. So I really like them to beat Hoffenheim at minus 132. I'll get the lineups before the show's finished, but that would be one of my better bets of the day, actually, in the German Cup. Just a quick word about the other games there. Leipzig, Frankfurt. For those who do like, this is a later game, Leipzig, Frankfurt. Frankfurt won 7 games in a row in all competitions. Leipzig have lost 4 out of 5 in really bad form. Do check the lineups there. But I wouldn't be putting any money on RB Leipzig at the moment. They've gone. I mean, they're injuries galore, and a Frankfurt side that are doing very, very well. So welcoming everyone. Anyone got any thoughts on the German Cup? Put them in there. Duncan, good to see you. Ross as well. Paul Laguna, COD Gaming Player, Cam, Steve Gregory. What's your best bet today? Put it in the chat. And you had a very good bet last night, Nigel, in the Premier League. Hot dog cashing in the Leicester game. Well done with that one. A good start to the round for you.
Yeah, it was good. We both, myself and Jack, both really had a really strong opinion under 2.5 goals in the Crystal Palace v Ipswich match, which won as well. And that was, you knew after 5 minutes that was going to cash. It was that kind of game. And then the over 3.5, which was plus 205 on the Premier League show on the match between Leicester and West Ham. I'm surprised it took us so long to cash because West Ham had so many chances, couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Leicester 3-0 up. How they were 3-0 up is staggering. 32 shots. I think it was 32, 31 shots West Ham had in a match. But it was a good weekend. And we've been, particularly me. I mean, Jack's been getting me out of trouble on the Premier League show. I've been hitting the crossbar. All my leans have been going right, and all my official picks have been going wrong. But I've got to. This is where I sort of like. I would, if anybody who's followed me over the years, or any been involved in any betting service I've always done, sort of December, January is the time that I really do quite well. The first 3 or 4 months, I always find it quite difficult. But when the games come fast and furious, I like the teams with the bigger squads. Motivation already comes into it, especially in the lower leagues of England. There's the FA Cup matches, which will take the distraction from the teams. So this is like my kind of time. And, I got a feeling we're going to go on a good run over the next 2 or 3 weeks here. So the early part of the season I find quite difficult till we get a lot of data and a lot of forms and sides. But going into Christmas and New Year is historically my best period of time, actually.
Yeah, that bodes well. You're right, that Ipswich game, I think you nailed that one. Jack did as well. Turgid affair. Ipswich I can't believe they've become such a under team, really. I watched a lot of their games last year, obviously, as a Leeds fan. Brilliant to watch, great football. It's the opposite now.
But why can't you believe that, Steve?
Awful.
Why can't you believe it?
Because
they're playing against crap teams in the Championship.
Because I didn't think he would change his style. I thought he'd come up and just not adapt.
They're not good enough.
Yeah.
You could have the best. You could have the best teams in the world in the Championship, and you could go toe to toe and score goals. You do that against some of these teams in the Premier League. He might change it when he needs to change it, but I'm not surprised at all because you're not going to survive in the Premier League if you do the same tactics as you do in the Championship. A lot, this is a big step up. I don't think there's a bigger step up from the Championship to the Premier League, the top echelons of the Premier League. So I'm surprised that you're surprised, to be honest with you, because what are they going to do? They're going to go toe to toe with Arsenal, get beat 5-0, get toe to toe with. At home to Crystal Palace, you would expect more, but they've done all right. In the match before, they were excellent against Manchester United. I still think Ipswich will do okay. I think they've got a good manager. I think they'll do okay, but I'm not surprised they've become unders because this is a big gulf between the Championship and the Premier League.
I think they have been more pragmatic. I think the Manchester United game showed it. They were gung-ho in the Championship, and I think they have, sensibly tried to adapt. But they've lost definitely some of their fun factor. That was an awful game.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing, Burnley did the same last year, didn't they? Burnley did exactly the same. They were excellent in the Championship, and then they were very negative in the Premier League. But I think it's a difficult one for these newly promoted clubs. You have a style to get yourself out of the Championship, and then you go up so many different levels. Look at Sheffield United last season. I mean, if you want to play, they got beat 9-0, 6-0, 5-0, 7-0. It's a difficult one, but the gulf is so big, and they haven't got the quality. That's pure and simply Ipswich haven't got the quality in goal-scoring areas that other teams do, so they've got to be quite negative.
Yeah, the gulf between the Premier League and the Championship may never be as big as it has been now. We keep seeing this in the last few seasons. It's very hard for teams coming up. Just going through some of the comments before we start talking Premier League matches today. Reece Williams says, Julian Lopetegui is surely on borrowed time. I felt for him a bit yesterday. 30-odd shots. He can't put the ball in the back of a net for them. But, yeah, it's felt like it's been on a downward spiral. Dave Clark says, I think we have to keep backing Liverpool until they lose. We'll come to that match soon. And Duncan, Liverpool, very popular bet. We'll come on to that match very, very soon indeed. Let's start with the first Premier League match. Manchester City gets Nottingham Forest. Manchester City, I've got this stat from one of our traders, have an incredible record on Wednesday in the Premier League. They've won their last 20 straight consecutive Premier League Wednesday games. Whether that means anything here, I don't actually know. But Manchester City obviously have been struggling of late, but a lot of people expect them to get back to winning ways this evening. Minus 315 now on the money line against Forest. 8-1 you can get the visitors. Goal line is around about the 3.25 to 3 mark on the Asian. handicap. Unsurprisingly, quite a lot of money is on Manchester City. 84% of the money. You'd probably expect a little bit higher, maybe. Although that just shows their form here. 93% of the tickets are on Man City as well. Erling Haaland has been the first goal scorer in 4 of Man City's last 5 EPL night matches. I mean, Manchester City, if they don't get back to winning ways here, when will they?
Well, that's the big question. I mean, but can you trust them at the price? Minus 315 is a very, very stingy price. But when you compare them historically in this fixture, it may appear tempting to a lot of bettors, especially big bettors. I mean, 2 seasons ago, they were in this fixture, they started minus 1,200. They were minus 1,200 in this match. Last season, they're minus 700. And this season, they're now minus 315. They did touch minus 285. So there has been some money for Man City. And I think what it is, I think it's more of the Asian syndicates trying to get involved in Manchester City, minus 1, minus 1.25. And they've got involved here, minus 1.5. They've got involved here. I think the price is a little bit too tempting. I still think the public want to get with Nottingham Forest for small recreational bettors. I've said it so many times on the Premier League show, on other shows I've done, on different bits I've done across. There's something fundamentally wrong at Manchester City Football Club at this moment in time. You know, there's obviously a dispute between the players and the manager because the manager's come out scratched all over the place and cuts all over his face. I mean, there's something gone on there. There's no player that put in a shift. Their match against Liverpool was abysmal. I know they lost 2-0, but they could have lost 5-0 easily on the performance. They couldn't string 2 passes together in the Liverpool's half. It was an absolute embarrassment. Prior to that, the 3-0 lead of Fernand had wasted away in 15 minutes was just schoolboy. I mean, it was terrible. So you would expect a bounce back from Manchester City, but I don't think it's going to be plain sailing tonight. I really don't. Where is the value here? Well, the value here potentially could be on both teams to score. I know it's an angle that Jack has not sort of found in Manchester City matches this season. You've got to look at that. You know, you've got Chris Wood here, who's a goal scorer, in one of the most prolific goal scorers in the Premier League. And Nottingham Forest side have improved tenfold from where they were 2 years ago. And the Manchester City side have gone backward tenfold, you would argue as well. Forest are very reliant on 2 or 3 players. All those players are fit for this match. So it was a workmanlike performance last time out for Nottingham Forest with the 1-0 win against Ipswich. But I think are going to cause Man City problems here because I don't think anyone's scared of going there anymore. I don't think anybody thinks, oh, it's Man City. They're going to run past them. I think people think we've got a chance. So the fear factor's gone. And when you look at big heavyweight boxers or big boxers, the minute the fear factor's gone and people think they got a chance, they're vulnerable. So I wouldn't bet Man City minus 315. I understand why there's been movement for them. I think that's the main syndicates that have got involved in Manchester City. I wouldn't bet Nottingham Forest at $8 because I think it's a prohibitive price. I think they should be bigger than that on the historic data we have. But I do think there could be goals from both sides here. So if I was going to have a lean on this match, I'd probably bet both teams to score yes at minus 129. And I would have taken Nottingham Forest plus 1.5 goals or 1.25 goals in the Asian handicap. But now the money has come from Man City. We can't bet any props because we got absolutely none. We didn't know what team Pep Guardiola was going to go out with. Man City were champions of Europe and winning matches easy. Now they're in a complete and utter mess. Nobody has any idea what side they're going to put out. So we can't do any of the prop markets until we see the team that you're guessing completely. So Haaland's obviously the safe bet, but I think this has got to be both teams to score. I think Man City will probably edge it, but it's not going to be easy. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Nottingham Forest go 1-0 up here and then sit back and Man City eventually break them down. But yeah, both teams to score would be my lane here.
Just looking through some of the comments here. City look a mess, says player Cam. Forest good on the road. Both teams to score. Yes, Lorenzo likes that as well. Forest have had good results on the road against Liverpool and Chelsea. Forest to score. People liking the idea of Nottingham Forest. It's a double away trip to Manchester for them. They go to Manchester United at the weekend as well. Which match have they got a better chance of getting some points out of, do you think, Nigel? This one or Old Trafford?
Well, I said on my Twitter feed the other day, on my X feed, whatever you call it now. I mean, Manchester City were the best team in the world 5 weeks ago. Now they're the best team in Manchester. And I include Salford in that. So I think they've got a better chance here, actually. I think they've got more of a chance because I think Man United are going to be very hard to beat at home. On the road, I'm not so sure about Man United, but I think this is a real opportunity for them to get something. And I think they go and attack. You're a manager, go at them, go at them. They're vulnerable, and if they can go in the lead here, and the way they're at them defensively, I mean, Kyle Walker, me and you have spoken about him for weeks and since the Euros. Dreadful, absolutely dreadful, awful defending at the moment for Manchester City. Can't string two passes together from an offensive unit as well. So yeah, I like that Forest to score first. I think that's the kind of game we're going to get here. So Forest to score first. What price is down? I'm look at the Bet Rivers website.
Walker's drop off has been alarming. I mean, his actual physicals. I mean, even I might give him a go in a race now.
No, I wouldn't say it's that bad.
Maybe that's pushing it.
No,
But Haaland is minus 136 to score any time. There's 3 Bet Rivers house specials which I've got to mention here. These are raised odds. If you do like any of these, Arsenal and Manchester City each to score in the first half at plus 107. Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea all to win at plus 208. And this last one here, I think this is a bit juicy. Haaland, Salah, or Palmer all to score or record an assist at plus 234. Haaland, Salah, and Palmer. All you need from them is a goal or an assist. Plus 234 treble. I think that's very, very generous from the Bet Rivers House specials there. If you do like that. Rich has surely got to do Wood first goal score if you do like Forest to score first. He has been very, very good for Manchester City this season, no doubt about it. For Forest this season, no doubt about it whatsoever. Newcastle, Liverpool. I think this is a fascinating game. I quite like the under here, I've got to say, Nigel. Newcastle plus 295 now on the money line. There has been some money for Newcastle in the last hour or two. Liverpool are out to minus 118, but Liverpool are the most wagered play today at Bet Rivers on the Premier League card. Nearly 10% of the entire handle is on Liverpool money line. There was a lot of comments earlier saying you've got to keep riding this Liverpool train whilst it's hot. Right now, just a couple of other splits. 99% of the money. I'm actually a bit surprised by this. 99% of the money is on Liverpool for this game. 52% of the money is on the under. Which I think that's fair. I think this could be quite a tight game myself, but I'm just amazed that I know they're in great form, but I'm not sure I could be backing them here at St James's Park, Nigel. I've got a feeling you might be. I don't think you would be. Would you be a Liverpool backer at minus 118?
Well, 2 questions. If there's so much money for Liverpool, why are Newcastle shortened in the betting? You know, that must be sort of
team news something behind the scenes.
I mean, why, if you're taking 99% of the handle of a team, they should be. Newcastle should be getting bigger. Give us bettors a bit of an opportunity to get the bigger price on Newcastle. So I'm not quite sure about that. If 99% of the market's being bet on Liverpool and Newcastle are getting bigger and Liverpool are getting shorter odds. This is a classic side in Liverpool who have been exceptional, absolutely exceptional this season. In every competition, been unbelievable against a massive underachieving side in Newcastle who are not performing their best. So do we go with what we've seen or do we go with what potential is offered from the home side and what we've seen or what we know they can do? Riding the Liverpool train was brilliant at the beginning of the season because you were getting fantastic odds and nobody expected them to do well. But now you're getting artificially short odds. So I wouldn't ride the Liverpool train because the prices you're taking, to me, represent zero value whatsoever. There was a little bit of move for Liverpool during the day, and now the move is coming for Newcastle. So that sort of lends itself to where, you know, the market isn't really quite sure what to do on this one. The other thing I think is when you're 11 points clear at the top of the Premier League table, or you have such a commanding lead, I think your game plan is slightly different. I think you think to yourself, right, okay, you know, I don't think if you're chasing 11-point lead, your game plan is to attack, go at it, get loads of goals. If you're Liverpool here, I think you're going to be much more careful. You know, if as long as you don't lose, and clearly they want to win and extend that to 14. I'm not saying for 1 minute they're not going to try to win here, but I do think the game plan here will be to not lose and get past a tricky away match when they got Everton at the weekend as well in the last match at Goodison Park. Last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. I think the game plan here will be just to avoid defeat. So I like the under 3.5 goals, under 2.5 goals that you said, Steve. I think this will be quite close. Eddie Howe, if you look at Eddie Howe in big matches against big teams, he goes very tactical. He tries to be very defensive and tries to have a game of chess against the manager. And I think he'll fancy going up against Slot in a mind games. So I think Newcastle will start quite defensive here, very patient. We know Liverpool have been exceptionally patient this season in their approach in their matches. So I do like the idea of under 2.5 goals here. It's quite a cold day today up the north of England as well, really, really cold as well. So I think that sort of brings it into a low scoring game. But I would like to take Liverpool on in this match at -120. I would be happy to accept wagers on Liverpool at -120, -125 in this match, because I do think the mindset is very, very different when you have that huge advantage that Liverpool have here. It's a sort of like, let's not get beat. If Liverpool, all Liverpool are thinking, if we don't lose 4 matches for the remainder of the Premier League season, we're going to win the title. Everyone's got to catch us up, and this is a tough game. I think if Liverpool win this match, and I said it on the Premier League show, if Liverpool win this match, and if Liverpool win against Everton at the weekend, I think the title is theirs at the moment. But I expect a massive performance from Newcastle this evening. I know they haven't been playing well. Isaac does play tonight. Anthony Gordon as well, Liverpool guy, Everton, ex-Everton. There's incentive for Newcastle to play, and I think Newcastle will put in the performance. And I don't think Liverpool are as good as the results at the moment suggest in the Premier League. They've been doing things efficiently. They've been doing things well. But on the road, they're gettable. They've conceded a lot of goals on the road. And I think that I give Newcastle a bit of a chance here. But I think, like you, I think this will be a close one.
Yeah, I mean, that under 2.5 is at +137 now. Under 3 Asian goals is -127. I really don't see more than 3 goals in this game. What you said there, I completely agree. Eddie Howe, history in these big games, just goes tight, negative. I mean, to be fair, beat Arsenal 1-0 here. Got a draw against Man City early in the season when City were good. And in previous campaigns as well, they've given some of these big teams a bloody nose at St James's Park. So, I mean, I actually think if you offered Arnie Slot a draw right now, I think he might take it.
I think if you said to him there, you can get 4 points from Newcastle and Everton away, he'd be absolutely delighted, because the Arsenal have got a big game tonight against Manchester United at home, and Man City have got a very, very difficult task as well. It's all about not getting beat now for Liverpool. 11 points is a huge win, and I think the psyche now is very different. I don't know. And he's a rookie boss as well. You know, he's a rookie manager in the Premier League, never been in this position before, and that's why I still think Arsenal might win the Premier League title, because I do think going down the stretch, the experience that Arteta has had in the near misses he's had over the last couple of seasons holds him. I reckon it's worth about 2 or 3 points going down the stretch, personally, but we'll see. Slot hasn't been there, but this is a banana skin for Liverpool here. Really is a banana skin.
No Isak, says Player Cam. We don't know about Isak yet. I think
apparently he gave a press conference yesterday, and I saw it on Twitter. He gave a press conference to someone at Sky Sports and said he was playing.
Yeah, I think that's one of those where we'll have to wait and see. Wouldn't surprise me if he played. Eddie Howe does play games with the media.
Well, to be fair, if there's a move in the last 25 minutes for Newcastle, I would bet that's because Isak plays.
I think so.
If Isak didn't play, there wouldn't be a move for Newcastle. It would be going the upper direction. Everyone's going on about off form. This is another thing. We spoke about it, myself and Neil Channing, on the dojo. You know, so people can have off form. People can have bad runs. People can think. But the potential is that people have bad runs who are good. They can hit form because they're too good to keep continuing the bad runs. This is a very, very good Newcastle side. It would consider the team that would make the Champions League at the start of the season. They're having a bad run. Doesn't mean they're a bad side. They're just having things aren't going their way. Their performance against Crystal Palace was diabolical the other day. But saying that, this is St James's Park, where it's been a fortress for two, 3 seasons now. Not many teams go to St James's Park. I mean, Brighton are the only team who've gone there this season and won, I think. This is, and you're getting a very big price. I don't think you're bigger than 3-1 Newcastle at home. I just think it's the Liverpool -120. 125 looks a bit of a trap for me tonight.
Yeah, and Newcastle in London is always an automatic fade anyway. They're worse than Leeds in London. But put them at St James's Park and it's a completely different animal. Lots of good comments about this game. Crouchy there says it's a 3-3 banker. I don't see it, but there has been a history down the years of some crazy ones. between these two teams. So let's see how this one goes. I do like the under. I'm not saying it's going to be 0-0, but I think a 1-1 draw could be on the cards personally. Let's go on to the next Premier League game on this slate, and I think this is another under. Everton against Wolves. Two teams down towards the bottom of the table. Screams to me of don't lose this game. Really, Everton. Terrible performance against Manchester United. I probably would have been focusing on this. Plus 112 though, Everton. They've been backed in today.
Big move for Everton.
Wolves. Yeah, Wolves at plus 260. Over 2.5 goals is a dog here. Plus 105 now with Bet Rivers. I mean, this. I think it could be 0-0 personally, Nigel. But I mean, could you bet on?
Well, how can you bet 0-0 in? Well, I mean, I'm the biggest better of 0-0 you'll ever find in your life, and I love an under bet. You know me. I mean, I'm the 0-0 detector is one of my trademarks. I always love a 0-0. I love guys, but I could never bet a 0-0 in Wolves matches this season. I mean, they gave away 3 penalties at the weekend against Bournemouth. Their road record this season is just crazy. The amount of goals they get involved in. This is a clash of two styles. Everton obviously defensively not scoring goals, 0-0s everywhere. And you got this Wolves side who just kamikaze football. If you look at this record, the last 3 years, Wolves have won this fixture. They've got a good record at Merseyside. They've done the double of Overman last year, and you've got to go back a pretty long time. I think the last 6 matches, it's been a draw or a win for Wolves. So they've got a good record here. I think it's do or die now for Gary O'Neill at Wolves. I think if he doesn't win this match, I think he's another one who could be on the managerial casualty list. And I believe that Wolves and West Ham may be after the same manager, and that manager is Graham Potter. So I think it's a game of chess now, whoever moves quickly. So if you want Potter, you've got it. It's going to be, I think Wolves will make a move, and I think that West Ham will make a move. I think West Ham will probably make a move first, and Graham Potter will probably go to the London Stadium. But it doesn't surprise me there's money for Everton here, because this is, I think you want to be with the better defence, and Everton has certainly got the better defence than Wolves here. Wolves are just like a chocolate fire guard at the back there. So I would go for Everton. I couldn't bet the under purely and simply because of Wolves' record. I mean, Wolves' defensive record, it's diabolical. But I think it might be quite tight in the first half, but I can understand why Everton are being bet because of Wolves' defensive record. And Cassini, three penalties in a match. I mean, that is just insane. Obviously, they've got to make a big decision tonight on the goalkeeper for Wolves. They've got the choice of their goalkeepers to come back, so they've got a big decision to make by that. But I got a feeling this could be Gary O'Neill's last match if he doesn't win this match. And I expect Wolves to go out and try to win the match, which will mean Everton may have to attack. So I'm in difference of opinion to you. I would actually go over 2.5 rather than under 2.5, because I think these are two managers who know that a draw isn't good enough. They both got to get a win. They both got to please their board and their supporters. And I think both will look at it as an opportunity to go at it. So unlike me, but I'd probably go against the public perception. I think this might be an overs or both teams to score.
Ice versus fire, says Giuseppe. This is quite a good sort of symbol of this game, perhaps. Effie likes the overs in Everton. Reece says both off the back of conceding 4 goals, and will look to try and shore things up.
I don't think they can. I don't think they can in their position. I think that's a really good strategy that I've done like so many times, and it's something that I preach a lot on these channels. But I think the state where these two clubs are now, I think it's too late. I think, you know, if both got a 0-0, what's it going to do? I think it puts more pressure on both managers. I think someone's got to win this and win this well to please everybody. So I've got a feeling it might be an open game, actually. It's a match that doesn't look like it should be open, but I've got a feeling it might be open.
Benny, yeah, Kit Kat was on the stream earlier. You just might have missed him in the bottom left corner. He might come back over later. Duncan thinks it ticks all the 0-0 boxes. Reece says, are we overlooking Everton money line here? Just simple win for Everton. Maybe, I mean, I would, if anyone's going to win, I'd say it would be Everton.
I don't know, because if Everton go 1-0 up, then Wolves will throw. Gary O'Neill was just a gun-ho manager who will throw everything. No, that it could just change the game. He has to win this. He has to win this to keep his job. If he doesn't win this, the man is out. He gets his P45 in the morning. He's down at the job centre. He's standing next to Lopetegui, and they're both thinking, where do we go from here? But he's got to win it. So I don't know. I think this could be a really good trading match here.
Interesting game. Rich says there's some good prices for player shots in this game. Michaelenko, Beto, and Cunha. I do like Cunha. He's a great footballer, actually. But I think Everton might snuff him out.
Chelsea, he'll be a Chelsea player next season.
He's a good player, isn't he? John Larson's not bad for Wolves, either, to be fair. These are all the early games. There's one more early game as well. Southampton against Chelsea. For those who watch the Premier League show, 4-unit pick on this game. It's not on the underdog. Southampton now plus 850. There's been a little bit of money for Southampton. Chelsea minus 360, and the ties at plus 510. Over 3.5 goals is minus money at minus 112. I've got a little bit of a tidbit of information for this game. I was searching around. I've got a lot of fantasy people that I follow on Twitter, and there's a lot of Nicholas Jackson owners very worried because his own brother took him out of his fantasy Premier League team this week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, apparently.
Was that Michael or Tito?
Michael.
Michael Jackson or Tito Jackson.
Michael. Apparently there's a concern amongst his owners that he's going to be benched. In which case, Christopher Nkunku might be a very good price to score at any time in this game. At Chelsea, have got such a massive squad. I mean, it's huge, isn't it? But I mean, this is the sort of match where they've got to make hay, isn't it? Where they can just put fresh legs in if they want them.
We have our biggest, the only time this season that myself and Jack Wright have agreed on anything on the Premier League show. We've done a 4-point bet on both our two. It won. And this is our second time we've agreed on everything. And the move on the market has been staggering. I think this is one of the biggest moves in the Premier League season so far. We gave minus 1.25 goal on the Asian handicap for Chelsea at minus 110. It's now minus 175. That is a staggering move. Chelsea at minus 1.5 is now minus 132. Chelsea minus 1.75 is minus 106. So if you think it was minus 110, that's a half a goal shift in the same price. That is a massive move. Everybody, every man, their dog and Kit Kat wants to be on Chelsea tonight on the Asian handicap and on the money line. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I like when we're on our own, and I like the fact that when we're on our own cheering these kind of matches. But the fact is that everybody's now on it. I don't like this. It's a staggering move. This is probably the biggest move of the Premier League season so far, this move towards Chelsea. I would say that Southampton, obviously, when they played the big sides at home in the Premier League, got beat 3-0 by Manchester United. They got beat 3-2 by Liverpool. Again, they played very well on it. But this Chelsea side are the side that have been the biggest movers on the ratings in my rating system, equally as much as Liverpool. We knew Liverpool were good. We knew Liverpool had players, but we were unknown about the manager. Exactly the same at Chelsea. We were unknown about the manager. But the way he's got this team playing, they're a joy to watch. And I think the man management and the player and the game management that they had against Leicester, another promotion side, the other week, was watching like a team that had been at it for years. They were absolutely unbelievable. Cole Palmer is going to be a superstar. Nicholas Jackson, after a tough season, is finding goals. And Nkunku, as you said, come off the bench. Everything about this side. There's players that can come in. They're playing happy. A manager that's really impressed me. And I really think here that they could put on a good number. I can see Chelsea. I quite liked Chelsea totals over 1.5 just on their own. But the problem is when we spoke about this game on Monday, we were getting very attractive prices about that. Now we're getting no value whatsoever. So I'm happy with my position of minus 1.25. Where we stand now, I think we've missed the boat already. I think we've actually missed the value. If you haven't already played, you've missed the value. I wouldn't be rushing into getting Chelsea on side now at these prices because they're ridiculously short. It's a big move, and at the current prices, I'd probably be inclined to bet Southampton. That would be my way of thinking. But what I've got at 1.25, I'm happy at that price at minus 110. So I think here, maybe your angle here, that Michael Jackson and Tito have got the information that, or Janet might have messaged as well, and Latoya, and that Nicholas Jackson doesn't feature. So that might be a good angle, what you're saying. That might be a very interesting thing to do there. And Nkunku anytime, that could be the best way to go here.
He is plus 165, Christopher Nkunku, to score any time right now with Bet Rivers. Nicholas Jackson plus 105. Cole Palmer's minus 136. Who would you rather bet on to score tonight? Erling Braut Haaland or Cole Palmer? Same price.
Well, I took Cole. I actually took Haaland out of my fantasy team this week, and I made a wholesale change because I've been absolutely useless on my fantasy side, and I put in Jackson and Palmer. So I took a midfielder out and a striker out, and put Jackson and Palmer. So I'd be very disappointed if Jackson doesn't play. But the compensation here is that if I bet Nkunku to score at any time, I'll be very happy. So I might have a little bit of a wager on that one, Steve, on the basis that he might score. But this has got to be goals here, isn't it?
To be fair, Jackson could easily come on and score anyway in this game. I mean, Southampton team news, a lot going on about this. There is, I think, 3 suspensions: Dibbling, Downs, Harwood, Bellis. I mean, Lallana's injured, Ramsdale still injured, a few others injured as well. It could be the sort of game. Could Southampton just sort of mail this one in and be like, okay, we'll put this one aside. Chelsea focus on the next match for Southampton. I'm just looking to see actually who Southampton have. Spurs at home at the weekend.
Anything can happen in that match.
Yeah,
I mean, it could do, but I don't think it's Russell Martin's nature. He's a manager, like, he doesn't change his system. He likes to go attack, and he's going to do that tonight. And if he does that against a depleted Southampton side, against a fired up Chelsea who are on fire, then that will that could be carnage. I just want to just I'm going to go off track a little bit here, but this is quite important. It's the Chelsea theme. I actually bet Chelsea yesterday to win the FA Cup at 8-1. I think that's a huge price. They've just been drawn at home to Morecambe from League Two, one of the worst teams in League Two. Manchester City are still the favourites to win the FA Cup at plus 350, despite what's going on at the moment in Man City. Nobody has rebased anything that we've seen on the Premier League on the FA Cup. Man City have got a relatively easy draw at home to Salford. Arsenal play Manchester United, so one of them is going to go out. And Chelsea, to me, have got a great history in the FA Cup. And 8-1, I think it's a big price for Chelsea to win the FA Cup. If you're looking at Chelsea supporters and want to have a bet.
Chelsea are minus 118 to win the Conference League, for those who are interested in a different future for Chelsea. There's a question there from Shane about the PFA Player of the Year. Someone also asked earlier about David Raya. Do you think he'll get the Golden Glove, which I think is the most clean sheets in the season, isn't it? Do you see any value in that? I mean, Mo Salah's up there. I mean, if you think Arsenal could maybe come back win the Premier League, are you thinking, could Saka be an option in that market?
We're going to come on to Saka in a minute, but Saka would be if Arsenal won the Premier League, Saka would get it, wouldn't he? I mean, we spoke about Gabriel before, we spoke about defensive quality, but the player of the year always goes to a striker or an offensive player, and Saka would be my man. I wouldn't be. You can't be betting any Man City players, but Liverpool, I think, it's got to be Salah. But if he's still there, he might be gone in January. Might be off to the Saudi. We don't really know what's going on there. These contract negotiations, so it's quite interesting. I think if, Saka, Van Dijk. Van Dijk's had a great season as well. I mean, there's a lot of contention. But Shane, one thing I will say to Shane, MK Dons.
I had a feeling you might be mentioning MK Dons scored after 20 seconds last night, or less than 20 seconds.
What took him so long?
Just Benny says, right, are we Chelsea win to 0 or not? Yes or no?
No. Both teams. No. I reckon it'd be like 4-1, 5-1 Chelsea. I think Southampton are good for a goal.
Nick a goal. Okay, right. So big one down at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal against Manchester United. Arsenal now minus 265. They've been backed in on this game against Ruben Amorim's Manchester United at plus 650 now on the Red Devils. Over 2.5 goals at minus 155. I quite like the over in this, actually, I would say myself, if I was to take anything. Arsenal minus 265 against Man United. I mean, 10 years ago, this would have been like, wow, how the tables have turned.
You say that, Steve. What price were Arsenal last season away at Man United?
Well, wasn't that when United were in a complete crisis?
They're minus $3. They were minus $3.
Were they that? Yeah, I mean, so minus 265 here could look big.
They were minus $3. They were minus $3 away at home at Old Trafford last season. They're minus 265, and they are playing the best football in the world right now. No doubt about it. The last three matches have been sensational. They're minus 265. They are in a place now where it's basically, excuse my language, is shit or bust. They've got to go for it. It's like, come on, we're going to score 4 goals. You've got to break us down. You know, they are absolutely on fire at the moment. They're playing the best 3 performances I've seen from them under the Arteta era, the best Arsenal performance I've seen for many, many, many years. And I actually quite like them as being the chasers rather than being the team that are at the top of the table. And I think they've got some huge, huge winnable fixtures coming up in the next 4 matches. And I think the title will look a very, very different title heading into the new year. I think Liverpool will drop points and I think Arsenal will be relentless. I have no worry for Arsenal tonight against United. I think United at home are exceptional, but on the road, they're diabolical. You've got to go back to September, the last time Man United won on the road. September in all competitions. They're vulnerable. They're not good enough on the road. They do have Rashford, who I've mentioned on this show many times, who's a street goal scorer, maybe could potentially get a goal. But Arsenal are playing a game now where it's attack. It's we score 3, you score 2. We're good enough to win you. And the bet I like here, I really like it, is Saka to get an assist. Plus 265. Plus 265 is absolutely massive. Saka has played 12 Premier League games this season and has got 10 assists in the Premier League. They're 265 favourites against an injury hit and a lot of suspensions from Manchester United side. And, you know, the corners he brings in from the right side, Gabriel gets on the end of him, Saliba gets on the end of him. And not only that, his assist from open play as well is phenomenal. Plus 265. I thought that assist market would probably be around about plus 110, plus 120, almost 3-1. Saka to get an assist when it's a 3.5 goal line. Arsenal at minus 265. I think that's an absolutely great bet. So Saka for me on the assist market. I like Rashford. He's playing up top for Man United. He likes to play in that position. He's got a new boss now who's giving him some confidence, who's basically giving him a chance. He's a streaky player. Wouldn't be surprised to see Rashford score at any time. But if you want to have a shot on target for Rashford, I think that's an option. I think he's the best chance for Manchester United. But I think Arsenal cover the spread here and win this in a high-scoring game. I'm going to go for something like 3-1, 4-1 Arsenal. And United have got injuries on suspensions. Mainu is suspended. We have Fernandez is an injury doubt. I don't know if he's definitely going to play or not, but he had he was strapped up in ice after the game at the weekend, and Martinez is out as well for Manchester United. So 3 big players potentially out. We know definitely 2 of them are out, and if Fernandez doesn't play as well, that could explain where the minor money has come for Arsenal. But I don't have any problem with Arsenal here covering the spread here. 1.25 goals, and Saka has been the main man for assists, more assists than anyone in the Premier League, 10 assists, and you get him a plus 265 at home when Arsenal are minus 265. That's got to be a great bet.
80% of the money is on Arsenal, 75% of the over-under money is on the over. I thought there'd be a bit more, to be honest. Saka is minus 137 to score or assist for those who want to play it a bit safer. Biggest bets on the game with Bet Rivers is actually on Man United double chance at plus 175, 4-figure bet on that, and also on Man United over 2.5 corners at minus 154. Kai Havertz has scored a goal in 5 of his last 6 appearances in EPL home games. He's plus 165. Some of the goal scorers are quite big prices here, actually, if you do like goals in this game. And there was a comment earlier on, I think it was that's it, Chase. Obviously, a regular watcher of the EPL show, he was saying that you were nailing it about Rashford recently being a very streaky striker. And maybe if Man United do score, he could be the player. Just looking at his price now.
I like the streaky striker. Streaky striker. I like that.
Streaky striker, yes.
Streaky striker. Sounds like a character from Aeroplane, the movie. Streaky striker. Pilot or something. Streaky striker. I like that. There was a pilot in Aeroplane and music, the Aeroplane show called Striker. Showing my age there, but anyway, go on.
Plus 460. That's a big price, actually, isn't it? On a streaky striker.
What, to score any time?
Yeah. Plus 460 with
big price. I mean, he scored in back-to-back matches. We know that when he came back from the World Cup, I think it was 7 on the trot he scored. I do like the idea of him having a shot at target because he's going to play up top.
Yeah. Just Maninder the German leans at the start. Well, it's more than a lean Wolfsburg to win. Kicks off in 15 minutes time, and I do a lean would be on Frankfurt later on, but do check their team news. They do rely on 2 or 3 key individuals like Marmouche and Hugo Etikike. If I can get that one out.
Easy for you to say. Easy for you to
I know it is. Gabriel, Sakaris. Gabriel, why do teams not cover him? This guy just keeps
not as
scoring.
easy. It's not as easy as that, is it? I mean, come on.
Just treble team him out, get him out. I would no way.
But then you leave space behind. I mean, it's not as easy as that, Steve. Come on. Everyone knows what's going to happen. The delivery is fantastic. The timing of the run is unbelievable. Sometimes you can't pick him up. There's runners who take space. If he doesn't, I mean, you can't. Everyone tries to defend it. It's not as easy saying, why don't you pick him up? This is not Sunday League stuff. Everyone knows. It's not a big man. Look, Mark the big man, 3 on him. This is drilled in the training ground and it's coming off to perfection. Very hard because there's runners everywhere, and then he just makes a darting run. He's strong, powerful, and gets in. It just works every time.
The problem for Man United, I'm trying to think of a player that can actually manhandle him physically.
No one.
Johnny Evans.
Oh, come on, he's older than me.
I'm just trying to think of. That was the first name that came to mind. It might have maybe someone, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I've lost track here. There's one more Premier League game. Villa Brentford. Aston Villa minus 129 against Brentford a few weeks ago would have seemed massive, absolutely massive. I don't know what's happened to Villa. They're minus 143 now, so they are being backed in.
Massive. They can't minus 110, minus 115, Steve, early in the week.
If they can't beat Brentford at home, I think there's problems. Brentford are not a good away team. But what has happened to Aston Villa?
I don't think there's problems. I think they're playing the Champions League, and it takes it out of everybody. Even Manchester United, when they were top of the game when they first went to the Champions League, and Manchester City took time. Teams are vulnerable after the Champions League. You only got to look at the results, and this is a very, very, smallish squad. I wouldn't say it's a small squad but they're reliant on the same 7 or 8 players week in and week out. Those 7 or 8 players have played in long seasons with international football as well, and they're running on empty. And they've played some big Champions League matches. They've not been playing like RB Leipzig or Salzburg at home. They've been playing Juventus, Bayern Munich at home. These are big nights at Villa Park, and they're taking them out of them, and they're running on empty. This is a huge match for them. They've got to get back to winning ways. It's very important to get back to winning ways. But I already think now that they're a side that may have sacked off the Premier League for the season. Think, well, listen, let's forget about it. We can't win it. Let's see if we can get into the top 6 or try to get in the Europa League. But let's concentrate on the Champions League. And I think they'll put everything into the Champions League. And they need to qualify. And they're in a good position to qualify. So Brentford here, I know they've got a terrible, turgid road record this season. They haven't won match on the road. Their home form has been the best in the Premier League. They're on the road. It's the worst in the Premier League. I think 1 draw and 6 defeats or 5 defeats, whatever it is. I wouldn't be betting Villa. They haven't scored in 4 of their last 5 matches, Villa. Ollie Watkins, his goals are dried up. They look like they're running empty. So difficult one to call. I'd probably bet Brentford on the Asian handicap. I was going to have a bet here, but I think the Villa price is one that I would look past. I wouldn't be rushing over a bet on this match.
Yeah, one of my go-to bets for Brentford games is usually the first half Asian total over 1.25, but I don't know if I can get involved here.
At home, definitely.
Yeah.
At home, definitely. On the road, they're Jekyll and Hyde side of the Premier League. Very, very, very difficult to call.
Yeah, you might need Villa to contribute there if you are looking at goals in this game. And at the minute, they're not really showing quite enough of it. Just looking through the comments, Rich are we still on Brentford first goal? At home, definitely, yes. But away, I'm not quite so sure about it, to be honest with you. Just no real significant stats about this game. 78% of the money's on Villa, which is what I pretty much expected, to be honest with you. League One and League Two. We've got some matches in lower league England, Nigel. 3 in League One. Birmingham City, always going to be a popular bet these days. They are minus 167 now, actually. There's been a bit of a slight drift on them to beat Stockport in League Two. One of your local teams, Bromley, are in action against Gillingham. Is that a local derby?
It is a local derby. I was supposed to be there. Tonight, but I've given my tickets to my friend. Birmingham against Stockport's the biggest game of the bottom of the table. Both sides in the League One, both sides are in great form. Birmingham had a little bit of a wobble, but back-to-back wins. Stockport have won their last 3 matches as well. So that's a tricky one to call. I think the odds look about right there. Peterborough against Burton. Burton are absolutely terrible. I mean, they're awful on the data. They're the worst side in the division by some distance. And Peterborough are one of the most free-scoring teams in that division for years and years and years. 16 matches so far this season for Burton in the league. They've only won 1. And they got beat by Tamworth in the FA Cup in their last match, which was the non-league Tamworth, who've now been drawn against Tottenham. And that shows you the state of affairs at Burton. Peterborough are always good for goals, and I think Peterborough could cover the goal spread here. Peterborough won 4 of their last 5, and their last 4 home matches. How many goals do you reckon they've scored in their last 4 home matches? All their last 4 matches have been at home. Don't look how many goals they scored in 4 matches.
I don't know, 4.
15 goals they've scored in 4 matches, and now they're up against the worst team in the league, who've had the most embarrassing week, being beaten by Tamworth. So I would expect Peterborough to cover the spread there. In League 2, got the graphic back up there, Steve? I can't see.
Yes, I'll just put it back up now. There, Nigel.
Shrewsbury, Blackpool. It's Steve Cottrell's the manager at Shrewsbury. He's a new manager who's come in. He's had a little bit of a upswing, but things have got back to normal. Blackpool there, I'm managed by Steve Bruce. I wouldn't really have an opinion, but let's go to League 2. Now, League 2 is an interesting one. These 2 matches are very interesting to me. Now, Bromley are at home to Gillingham. Now, Bromley, I am a season ticket holder at Bromley. I live 10 bus stops away from Bromley Football Club. I go and watch them regularly. They're a decent side. They're okay. They're not going to get relegated. They're finishing bottom 6. They draw a lot of football matches. And they play Gillingham, are a team, local. It's the local side. It's a big derby. It's a Kent derby. Bromley and Gillingham on the Kent side. So it's a big derby. And the 2 sets of fans do not like each other. So this is a big match. Gillingham this season started off a side as everybody expected them to do really, really well. They've got American owners for the last couple of years. They haven't delivered. But I think the price on Gillingham tonight is a big price. I think that Gillingham here is a big price. And the reason why I think they're a big price is this, because Bromley just got drawn in the FA Cup at the weekend, and they've been drawn away at Newcastle. Now, Bromley have never, ever in their history, in 100-odd year history, have never been in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. This is the biggest match in the club's history. Everyone around the local area is talking about that game. They're not talking about Gillingham. This is a big derby. And no one's even speaking about that. They're speaking about Newcastle away. Oh, it's a big money spinner. We've got Newcastle. We saw last night Accrington play Grimsby. Accrington got drawn against Liverpool away in the FA Cup. They went to Grimsby, got beat 5-2. You've got Harrogate, who got drawn against Leeds, big local derby we are, Steve. They got beat 2-0 by Salford. I know Salford got drawn by Man City, but I love this time of year when these kind of teams get given matches in 3 or 4 matches' time, which is going to be the biggest match of these players' career that's going to be on television against a Man City, a Liverpool, a Newcastle, all these kind of players. And I think they don't put it in 100% because they don't want to get injured for the big match. And I think this match here, I think Gillingham here at plus 222 is a big price. Bromley do concede an awful lot of goals. There has been money for Bromley, but I like Gillingham on the draw no bet here. These are draw specialists. These 2. Bromley draw loads and loads of games. They really do draw a lot. The manager, Andy Woodman, realised a draw is a good result for them because at the bottom of the table, this team's going the best. But I believe here that Bromley are vulnerable. And I think a lot of these sides now that have these big FA Cup matches to look forward to, you watch their form dip. I've seen it so many years. FA Cup 3rd round, going into Christmas. You're playing on a Wednesday night, Harrogate player, and you're playing away at Bromley Town, and you've got Leeds on the following Saturday. You'll be a local boy, biggest game of your life. You are not at it. I'm telling you, you ain't putting that tackle in. You want to be fit for that Leeds game. And these teams are vulnerable. And I think it starts tonight with Bromley. I think Bromley saw it yesterday. Accrington 5-2 defeat with Liverpool. So for me, I like that. The other game, Fleetwood are up against Doncaster. Fleetwood are massive underachievers on the goal XG. They get so many chances on the XG, but they don't put the form. They're managed by Charlie Adam, the former Stoke player. They've drawn so many games, 8 draws from 22 matches this season in Fleetwood matches. And Doncaster have drawn 4 matches. Their last 4 matches, all draws. Draw specialists, these 2 sides. Doncaster are a side that are at the top of the table. Last night, the leaders dropped points. I think the draw here. I think the draw there. Obviously, I think it was plus 235 or 250. What was it?
I'm just looking at the latest odds now.
I think the draws
for the
price.
draw plus 245.
245 the draw. I think that's a decent bet, and I want to get with in Gillingham with some capacity to beat Bromley. And you got to remember as well, the manager of Bromley, Andy Woodman, was on the coaching staff at Newcastle. He was the goalkeeping coach at Newcastle, and that is a huge game for him as well. So I would be wary of Bromley tonight as a favourite, and I think Fleetwood and Doncaster could be a draw.
I think you're spot on about these draws. I mean, I was in my local gym today, and people were talking about Harrogate Town. I have never heard anyone.
You in the gym?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, in the gym. And people were talking about Harrogate Town.
Yeah.
I've never, ever heard anyone talk about Harrogate Town. My WhatsApp group with my cricket pals was blowing up with the draw. Like, this is it's big news up here, obviously. And it's the same with Bromley. I think it's a very good point. And already maybe some results are a bit skew with last night. Their teams focusing on the bigger prize down the road. Just looking back, some comments saying if Villa keep not getting wins, Unai Emery might be on the hot seat. Don't know about that. Anthony Graves, interesting one here. Just a note on the Arsenal game. The ref is Sam Barrett. I'm not actually familiar with him. 6.18 cards a game. He doesn't spring to mind very quickly to me. This might be one of his first high-profile games. I'm not sure. He doesn't ring a bell with me, Sam Barrett.
What you need is if you're going to play the bookings, you need Man United to go 1-0 up. If Arsenal go 2-0 up, which we expect them to win, then the bookings will go down. The game will fizzle out to a non-event. If Man United go 1-0 up, those stats are really, really, really good.
Some thoughts on Aberdeen against Celtic. One thing I can tell you, Oggy, is that you can watch it on the live stream on Bet Rivers or on the Bet Rivers app, along with the Athletic Bilbao against Real Madrid. Dundee Motherwell is also available to stream. And if you like the Austrian League, Red Bull Salzburg against Hartberg is available to stream today.
I bet you if Oggy has a winner, I bet he goes, oi, oi, oi.
Love it. Before we go, I do have a bet to advise in the Athletic Bilbao game against Real Madrid. It would be my best bet of the day, actually. I won't drone on, but I like under 2.5 goals. Main reason is that both teams have incredibly good expected goal against numbers, and Bilbao said they're actually a team I really like. They are very good in possession, and I think they will restrict Real Madrid. A long history of under matches involving these teams as well. It's a tough place to go in the Basque Country at San Mamés Stadium. Under 2.5 goals at -104 would be definitely a strong bet for me in La Liga. This is a 3 p.m. Eastern time kickoff, and you can watch it live stream on the Bet Rivers app. I think that about does us, Nigel, today. It's been a long show, but it's been a very good one, and let's hope we can cash plenty of winning tickets this evening and obviously afternoon, wherever you are. And it's been great to have you on the show.
And you, mate, take care. I'll see you Friday for the Christmas party.
Yes, looking forward to my venison loin this Friday.
I think we've got about two. I think we've got 2 meals each. The amount of dropouts we've had. So
someone's got to have the salted celeriac now. So
no one's put their hands up for that.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Well, take care, Nigel. Take care, everyone, and remember to gamble responsibly. Tomorrow we've got an incredible duo for you on Betting Weekly Live for the first time on the show. Dan Roebuck and Simon Holden will be together, so that's going to be a bundle of fun. I will see you next week on Betting Weekly Live, so take care and good day.